Hey, see any good movies lately?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of great movies. Well, it was varying quality.
Varying
It
quality.
actually went probably from worst to best because we saw Supergirl, then Toy Story, then The Odyssey, then Spider-Man.
And that's how you would rank them?
Yeah, so that's the worst one to the best one,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But we're mostly going to talk about Spider-Man, which we just saw, and best Spider-Man yet.
We were saying last night it's kind of a toss up between second Spider-Man
Hmm.
and the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
What was this one? Brand New Day?
brand new day. All
Another
the
Brand New Day?
yeah. Well, up to this point, all the Tom Holland films were like Home something, like Homecoming or Far From Home or No Way Home. That's it exactly, by the way. But this one's now about days, so the next one will be like the next day,
Okay.
I guess. Spider-Man the next day. But this movie's gonna make so much money. It's
Yeah.
incredible how excited people are. It's kind of surprising. I know Spider-Man's popular, but who knew he was this popular?
Well, there's been nothing to see, and it's so hot out. It's nice to go to the movies during the summer. But when I was looking for tickets, and we bought our tickets the day of opening,
Yeah, we bought an hour before we went.
an hour before we went, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to find tickets even.
Hmm.
We definitely didn't go to our first choice of theater, but we did find tickets.
Yeah, it was fine. It was easy enough.
But when I tell you, I was looking through every movie theater, and almost every single screen that they had was this movie, and they were very full. There weren't very good seating options left at that point.
Hmm.
So, yeah, just based on that, I think that their opening day was probably pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Now I get this is like spoilers for a 5-year-old movie now. I get why the last Spider-Man movie was so popular. It made hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, because there were three Spider-Mans.
Oh, yeah.
But this one's a spoiler alert for this new movie. There's only the one Spider-Man again. So again, I was sort of shocked that with only one Spider-Man, it was still like people wanted to go out and see it
Yeah.
so
I
quickly.
mean, is he not enough?
He's enough for me. It's fine.
Some other notable people in this film, we got Bruce Banner back.
Yeah, the Hulk's in it. He's in the trailer, and so is the Punisher. They're all in the trailer.
Now, what about what's not in the trailer?
Well,
Do
and
you want to do you
yeah,
want
we're
to
just spoiling it.
Okay, get ready. Spoiler. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it, come back and listen to this.
Yeah, from the trailer that there's some entity possessing people and jumping from mind to mind and controlling them. And if you're in the know and you were reading the rumors, you were aware it was Jean Grey a year ahead of time.
Well, okay, so I did not watch the trailer, and if you showed it to me, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, all right.
But so I didn't know any of this going in. But as soon as I saw the girl, I was like, well, that's not Spider Gwen, although she did have like the hood on.
Yeah, the hoodie.
So it was a moment, and then I got it. I was like, oh, okay, they're mixing that world together.
That's right. And she's sort of somewhat color coordinated like Jean, like some green and yellow in her outfit
Hmm.
to give her sort of an X-Men
Yeah,
look.
but that wasn't even until after you first see her in a limousine or a car, hired
Hmm.
car, and it's like behind black glass, so it's very gray tone. You don't even see that color at first.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was thinking like Spider Gwen.
Right.
What?
Fair enough. Up to that reveal, you just see Jean Grey acting through other people. Again, she's possessing people's minds, which is a very specific application of Jean Grey's powers because
Hmm.
she's a telepath and telekinetic. She can read your mind and she can move objects with her mind. And then also, she can she can control you. She can get in your mind and make you do stuff,
Yeah.
which is fairly invasive and not a crime just because no one can literally do that. But if
Mhm.
people could do it, I think it would be classified as a crime.
Yeah, there'd be some regulations on that.
So, also in addition in this movie, more spoilers is that she's got a sister in the movie.
And this is just in the movie, right? You're very familiar with her
Yeah,
lore,
yeah.
her comics, everything. And this was the first we've heard of what was her name again?
Oh, who knows?
Sarah. Sarah
Sarah
Gray.
Grant. Yeah, as far as I know, I'm not willing to put all my chips on the wager of Jean Grey has never had a sister
Hmm.
in any media before. But the way I usually hear the story, I think she's an only child. Again, I could be wrong about that, but The last time we saw her in a movie was X-Men Dark Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
when it was Sophie Turner playing her.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of that movie, she's a little girl who causes like a mental issue in the car, and there's a car crash and her parents die.
Yeah, but in this one, her mom left because the sisters were talking about
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah, they were looking at the mom playing with the kid in the garden or the park,
Okay.
saying, "Well, how could she leave us?" Well, because we had powers. Well, what if you had somebody with two powers? I would love them.
All
You don't
right. Yeah.
remember this?
No, I mean a lot. Some of it, not all of it, but some of the movie was in one ear out the other.
Right. There's so many times where I'm like, "Well, didn't you see this?" He's like, "What?" No, I'll have to watch that again.
What I kept telling, I told you after the movie, it seemed like characters would just disappear, and I didn't realize that was their last scene. Like I had to ask you with Jean, like, does Jean get away at the end? Like I didn't realize what her conclusion was. And the Hulk's in there, but then he just falls off a building, and I'm pretty sure that's the last you see him in.
No, they put Dr. Banner in an ambulance and they say they're taking him to a psychiatric facility.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh
That's right.
gosh.
Yeah. So the best part of the movie to me is the action where Spider-Man is fighting Hulk, is fighting Punisher, is fighting Jean Grey.
Yes.
And that was so good. I mean, that sells the movie on its own. It's not a perfect movie. There's some slow parts at the beginning and the end, but that middle with all the action is so good. You got to
Yeah.
see it for that reason.
But I do think that those slow parts um, do provide context for the story or help move the story along.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's slow, but I can see why they didn't cut that out. What I hate is when I'm watching a movie and it's slow and I know that that is worthless
Yeah.
screen time, that they could just cut that.
And they tell you basically everything you need to know about these characters, but they are kind of throwing you in the middle. I mean, 11 Spider-Man movies in, you got to know who Spider-Man is.
And you got to know that he loved MJ, she loved him,
Yeah.
and they lost their memory. There was a lot of that you didn't recall from that last movie.
Yeah.
Where, he had to say, okay, I'll give up my identity as Peter Parker because Spider-Man's work is more important than Peter.
Yeah.
So if you don't know that, you're going to be like, well, why is he being such a psycho stalking these college kids?
Right. Which is, I said this too, that's accurate. It's unfortunate how accurate that is, but he's just stalking the socials of people he used to know for 4 years. It's like, it really is literally a montage of their entire college career at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
So he's just like not going and being friends with them, but just watching them on Instagram.
And just like only being Spider-Man.
Yeah, and only being Spider-Man. So that's the other thing is in this movie, usually Spider-Man is, people like him, but there is a contingent of people who hate or fear him. Mm-hmm. Like famously J. Jonah Jameson, the editor of the Daily Bugle, is always putting out a newspaper that says Spider-Man, threat or menace. But there is none of that. This is the most rock star Spider-Man that's ever existed in a movie. The people of New York love him from beginning to end, and that never deviates.
Well, what was that department's name?
Department of Damage Control.
Damage Control. They obviously also were worried about Spider-Man because they did create that weapon that dissolved his
Yeah, but they're villains, so they don't really count. I'm saying like just the man in the middle, the normal citizen.
Yeah,
well, they all love Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's a montage of him just like completely reforming the city and like taking down every single bad guy boss and kind of bringing this like kumbaya to New York.
So that was better than going to college, just being a professional Spider-Man for 4 years.
Yeah.
And
it must be how Mom Donnie feels.
I would have thought, though, again, one more point on the people love Spider-Man, they don't hate him.
Yeah.
I would have thought, like, with the villain that's going around mind controlling people, and like she'll jump into someone's mind and then make them jump in front of a bus.
Yeah.
And I would think, like people would see Spider-Man there and start to blame him or something. But there's none of that. He doesn't get blamed for the villain's bad behavior at all. Mm-hmm. Which is not always the case.
Yeah, but I mean, to them, they just saw a dude jump in front of a bus. Mm-hmm. They didn't see that it was a villain that he was chasing.
Yeah, that's fair. So, but great great villain. You know, Jean Grey's usually on the side of the angels, but here she is, well,
A
initially, yeah,
misunderstood.
yeah, yeah. Misunderstood, but still, like I already pointed out, what she is doing, even if it's not technically a crime, is spiritually a crime.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely was in her full on like villain mode,
Yeah.
but you learn it's the lines are colored in
Yeah.
after you learn what her story was. And once Spider-Man discovers that, he tries to make it right. Um and kind of show her, which I thought was a very touching scene with Marissa Tomei,
Hmm.
where like she kind of explains to her like you're special and you're going to be loved not just because you're special but because of who you are. Kind of, you need to be a good person, you've got a lot of responsibility in this.
Hmm.
And it was a very touching scene, and I think was kind of a good tie in to why Jean Grey especially needs to stay on the good side.
Yeah. And you said the Marissa Tomei stuff was new. She came back and filmed
I
this
believe
scene.
it was. I mean, it kind of had to be because it added her in with both Peter Parker and Jean Grey.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I don't see that being something that they pieced together, but
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I mean, I would believe it either way. Like I could see it plausibly being like unused old footage, like a deleted scene they just had in the can.
mhm.
Uh, but you know, it could have been new too. But oh, hey, you ever heard of AI?
Yeah,
It
I
could have
have.
been AI.
But I've seen Marissa Tomei in a lot of stuff on social media, and
Hmm.
she still looks that amazing. And
Hmm.
so I wouldn't doubt if this was just new footage.
Yeah. So you know, again, when they're fighting the four big Marvel characters together, I was just like, yeah, this is what it's all about. This is
Mhm.
why we go to the movies.
There was lots of great action in this movie,
Hmm.
a lot more than I was even expecting.
Yeah, I think the directors, it's a new director because John Watts directed the last three Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
And, you know, no shade on him, but I think this guy's better, the new guy, the new
Yeah.
director, which his name is, I think, Daniel Destin Cretton or
Mhm.
Creighton. I hope it's not Creighton, but either way is good.
Yeah.
But he did a great job, really good with action. They gave him, you know, the script hangs together, it makes sense.
I mean,
You could pick it
it
apart.
wasn't just like great action as far as like fighting scenes go. It was great action of her leaping through different people. It was great action of like helicopters and Spidey swinging around. Like there was so much action
Yeah,
packed into this movie, and there were only a couple times where I felt like it just felt like it moved too much.
yeah.
And but for a Spider-Man movie, I think it's really good. I feel like that much more watching the video games than the movie.
Yeah, well, actually, some of the early stuff where he's swinging through the city and he's got to like chase the tank
Mhm.
was very much like a video game mission
Mhm.
where he's, you know, trying to stop cars in traffic.
Yeah.
That did remind me a lot of the PlayStation games. And I was actually a bit down on the movie to start with, but it won me over. It got more impressive as it went on.
At what point were you like, "Oh, you know what? No, I do like this."
When all four of those Marvel characters that I care about were fighting,
Well, that was kind of far into the
yeah,
movie.
it took a while. It took a
Really?
while for me to
Okay.
get going with it because, well, I was an idiot to ever assume this, but I thought at the end of the last movie when everyone forgot him that meant we were done with Ned and MJ. I thought they weren't coming back. So, you know, like there's a very early scene in this movie where there's a cute blonde in his building where he's living as Peter Parker,
Mhm.
who's, you know, she's like, hey, we're living on the same floor. She's very clearly like opening, like giving him an in. And he has no interest because he's hung up on these people he hasn't talked to for 4 years.
Well, no, I think that more of that was about he only wanted to be Spider-Man. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't want any connections to any people, kind of like what the Punisher was saying. Yeah, but then the Punisher says, "Are you kidding me? If I had family, if I had people, I wouldn't be hanging out with my mask on all the time, just fighting crime all the time. I'd be living life."
Yeah, I think his line is, "It's not a choice; it's a sentence."
Yes.
What's so
So
tough?
I think that Peter Parker was just so, or he was just so stuck in trying to serve a sentence.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had already given up so much for, Spider-Man, and so he did not want to take on anything else to give up for Spider-Man.
Yeah, and so still when he goes back and tries to rescue MJ because Jean Grey is threatening to take over her mind and jump off a building,
Mm-hmm.
which she does.
Mm-hmm.
They it's
Spoiler
yeah,
alert,
still more
she doesn't
spoiler.
die though.
Yes. It's another girl falls off the building and Spider-Man webs her to save her,
Woo!
which works like 80% of the time. But in the movies, but there's one notable time with Emma Stone
Yeah.
where it did not work.
No.
But most of the time it works. So when they seemingly get back on the roof together and have a spider kiss, like she takes off his mask halfway and kisses him. There's I heard people in our audience who were just like swooning or giggling or like
they were excited
yeah, they
because
were
they
happy.
thought that she remembered him.
Yeah, they were happy that they were back together. So I
The
really
spell was broken.
my whole point was I was an idiot to think that they weren't going to bring this MJ back, and it's what the people want, even if it's not necessarily like my favorite movie couple. Like that's what the audience clearly wants that.
Well, I mean, obviously they have that spark together.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see in an MJ and Peter Parker team up.
Yeah. But then, we didn't really explain this, so we should just like make it clear. Jean Grey is possessing MJ during the kiss. So it's a fake kiss, which is now we've added another type of crime.
Yes.
On top of the mind control.
The audience definitely felt betrayed by that.
Yeah.
They were audibly fooled during the kiss. Yeah. And then when she was like, "You still can't tell it's me, Peter Parker? Yeah. What is wrong with your spidey senses? Do you even know who you are?"
Yeah.
Like once she starts getting into him like that, everybody in the audience felt foolish.
They sure did. And well, no, I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I feel like this is one of those movies that if I were to watch it again, I would probably even like it even more.
Yeah, because it's very, technically very well constructed. Action's great, editing's great, music's great. There are a lot of song choices that I didn't necessarily recognize, but they all seemed like plausible, cool songs to me.
Yeah. And then also, like, there were a lot of like little details that, like, when we were talking about the movie again, you didn't notice them. I noticed them. There were some things that you noticed that I didn't notice. And I just love movies like that where there's just enough going on that it captures your attention. But there's other things, like if you were looking somewhere else, you got a different kind of vibe from that scene.
Yeah, Toby and Andrew must be so jealous of this movie. They're like, why didn't we ever get? It's so well. Spider-Man 2 with Toby with Dr. Octopus, very good. It's really divisive, but the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Electro and Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, I really like too. So the top three to me would probably be those three: Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man Brand New Day. So, but it's nice for Tom Holland. He finally, in my opinion, got a Spider-Man movie that's as good as the other guy's Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, and it shows what he can do with that character. He's definitely matured as an actor and has more range. But you know what I really enjoyed in this one?
What's that?
The Hulk.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to come out to play very much. And he's not really in the movie for very long.
Was the last time we saw him in Avengers Endgame? Or was he even in that one? He is in that one. Because he's the Hulk all the time.
Yeah.
In that one.
Well, and then, Dr. Banner creates an inhibitor so that he doesn't Hulk out without permission. And so you can tell that the Hulk has been held in.
Yeah.
And so when Jean Grey is controlling him, he's not even to his potential there.
Right.
And so it isn't until, they knock her out of him that he says to Peter, "No more girl, no more Banner, only Hulk."
Oh, it's Hulk, right.
And Peter says, "Oh, I didn't know you could get this big," because now the Hulk is free and he's like to his full potential and he is just ready to go, but he's still a little softy You
Mm.
know, he still wouldn't mind watching the sunset with the widow.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, that's just one thing I really I like Hulk. I think he's a great character. It's like it's like a big toddler that just doesn't know his power
Yeah, and
and strength.
well, speaking of him being a toddler, everyone is very understanding of him hulking out too. But to the same degree, I think that the whole city just loves and supports Spider-Man. The city's just seemed more mildly disappointed than anything
Yeah.
that the Hulk hulked out again. Like the reports were basic, or it was Ned or someone who said, "Oh, and he was doing so well."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's
they
true.
weren't even mad
But
that he hulked
also
out.
but also Banner was very much like, was anybody hurt? Was it just me? Like what's happened? You know, like it was clear that that there's been some kind of issue
Yeah.
and everybody got it.
Which I'm not even mad, but it did seem unusual to me how forgiving everybody was about
Okay.
like, basically all the destruction. Because there's even one point where Spider-Man's fighting the Scorpion, and he like, he wrecks a police car with the Scorpion with cops in the car,
Uh-huh.
and then his cop friend comes out and is like, "Hey, just don't do that anymore, okay?"
Yeah, if you do this again, I can't protect you.
What do you mean again? It's like that's because that's bad the first time, but
Yeah.
everyone's just like, well, you do a lot,
Well, she was
Spider-Man.
okay. She was fine
Well,
with the
she was fine,
car.
but there were people in that car.
Yeah, no, the cop that was in the car was fine. They showed it.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, good.
So I don't know. It would have just strayed too much from it if all of a sudden there was a riot over that.
Mm-hmm. So 2 thumbs up.
Oh yeah,
All
big
right.
time.
All right. Well,
2 Hulk thumbs up.
fantastic movie. You should go see it. And also, what else should we do?
You should smash like and subscribe,
Or what?
or else you might never see us again.